make a solution from a solid, and it would be a really, really tiny amount that you would need to weigh out. Often the simplest thing to do is to weigh out an amount that is at least what you need, but not exact, and then adjust the volume so that you get the final concentration that you want. Basically, you have some sort of desired concentration. You're going to need to get it into a weight over volume. So if you're going from molarity, then you just are going to multiply by the molecular weight, and that'll give you grams per liter, which is the same as mgs per mil. Or if you start with mgs per mil, great. If you're going grams with liters, that would be, well, if their point is that we're measuring really tiny amounts, I doubt you're doing grams with liters, but the same thing. You stop there though. So let's say I want to make a 5 mg per mil solution of BSA, so bovine serum albumin, which I'm using as kind of just like a generic filler protein in my solution to help make my protein happy so it's not alone. Basically, I only need 100 microliters of this 5 mg per mil because I'm going to dilute it to like 0.1 mg per mil. So if I go and say, okay, well, how much do I actually need to weigh a BSA? How much of a solid powder do I need? So I do 5 mg per mil times 0.1 mils, because remember, 0.1 mils equals 100 microliters. Man, yeah, so basically, you just a decimal point, 1, 2, 3, 0.1 mils. So now my mils cross out. Oh man, I love crossing things out, and I missed to cross out. Okay. So that'll give me 0.5 mgs, which is way, way, way too tiny. It won't even be measured on the scale that I'm using. And so I say, okay, so it's not like BSA is that expensive or anything, but I don't want to make way more than I need. So maybe I'll make like a mil, which would be about 5 mgs. So if I were to weigh out 5 mgs, well, then it would be a mil. But I know that it's really, really hard to weigh out that tiny of an amount. So instead, what I do is I come and I weigh out about 5 mgs. I know that I need at least 0.5 mgs. If I've got at least 0.5 mgs, I'm good. But because like little tiny errors in the scale isn't that correct, and if a little flake drops off, let's go with at least 5 mgs. So what I do is I put a little Eppendorf on a little foam thing in there, and I actually do the weighing in there, because that way I don't have to worry about any loss in transfer. So I'm weighing it in the tube itself so that then I can just add the liquid to the tube. And so my main constraint is making sure that I don't have more than what the tube can hold. So this tube holds 2 mils, so I just need to make sure I'm below 2 mils, which would be below 10 mgs. So I weigh out, and I'm at 9 mgs. And yes, if I wanted to be super duper exact, I would use a more precise scale, which would go out to more digits. But here, using what I can, and I don't really care too much about the exact concentration. So I weigh out 9 mgs. Now how much liquid do I need to add in order to get to that final 5 mgs per mil I wanted? Well, we can think a little intuitively. We know that it should be more than 1 mil and less than 2 mils, and it'll probably be close to 2 mils, because 0.9 and 0.9 and 1 are 0.9 and 9 and 10 are pretty similar. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. So 9 and 10 are pretty similar. We know that 10 would be 2 mils. We've got 9, and so we're going to be close to 2 mils, but a little under, thankfully, because our tube would only hold 2 mils. Okay, so how much under, though? So we're going back to this part where we have our weighed per mil over mils equals mgs per liter, our desired mgs per liter. So X is going to be our volume of the solution that we're going to add to give us that to give us that final concentration in mgs per mil. And so we just are going to take what we weighed and divide it by the desired mgs per mil. So we have 9 mgs over what mils equals 5 mgs over 1 mil. We just multiply by X, divide that, flips, cross, you're left with 9 over 5 mils, which is equal to 1.8 mils. So I can go and I can add 1.8 mils of my buffer, of my water, whatever I want to add to dissolve my liquid in, and then I'll get the concentration that I want. So again, if you are going from a mgs per mil already, then you just need to take what you weighed and divide it by the desired. So this was the desired. So weighed over desired mgs per mil. if you have to go from the molarity, well, now you've got to start by converting that molarity to your mgs per mil, or to your grams per liter, which is the same as mgs per mil. And then you can go ahead and do this accordingly. So it's a lot easier to just kind of weigh what you can, rather than trying to get exactly the tiny little amount, especially because you're likely to kind of lose more in the process. So hope that helped. And yeah, so it's just one of those lab calculation things that just kind of comes with time.